Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got something interesting. A new budget phone that might be the cheapest one we've ever reviewed. It's the Xiaomi Redmi A5. Now, let's be honest. I'm a little skeptical because of its super low price. But is it really the ultimate budget phone right now? Or does the price comes with some big compromises? Let's dive in and find out.
As expected, this is an all-plastic build, typical for entry-level devices. The A series is getting bigger, but still remains budget-friendly. You do get IP53 protection against dust and splashes, which is nice at this price point. That said, I actually like the design. The camera island looks modern, and overall, the phone feels more premium than its price suggests. On the right side, you'll find the volume rocker and power button with an integrated fingerprint scanner. At the bottom, there's a 3.5 mm headphone jack, USB-C port, and microphone. On the left, a full SIM tray with dual SIM plus micro SD support. In a world where looks often matter more than specs, this phone will probably sell well based on design alone. This is where things start to go sideways. I don't mind 720p resolution on small screens, but on a 6.88-inch display, it really shows its limitations. Honestly, there's no need for these oversized screens with such low pixel density. It hurts the overall quality. And yes, it's advertised with 120Hz refresh rate, but in reality, I couldn't see 120Hz anywhere except in the display settings. The highest I saw was 90 Hz, and most of the time it runs at 60 Hz, so it feels more like a gimmick than a real upgrade. The only positive, it's bright enough for outdoor use. The Redmi A5 runs on the Unisoc Tigers T7250, which is basically a rebranded T615. Performance-wise, it's comparable to the Helio G88 or G91, which is a decent step up from the A3's T603. What's odd is that it ships with Android 15 Go edition. The chipset could easily handle full Android, but the Go version does make the phone feel smoother overall. Plus, Redmi promises 2 years of updates, which is reassuring. This phone is not recommended for gaming, but we tested it with Call of Duty Mobile anyway. It runs, but on low graphic settings. You can probably get away with it, but expect stutters and lags here and there. And here's the Antutu benchmark score we got. You get a 32 megapixel main camera and an 8 megapixel selfie shooter. Honestly, don't expect miracles here. Unisoc chips aren't known for camera processing, and Redmi doesn't prioritize cameras on the A series. Stick to well-lit conditions and edit your shots if you can. Video tops out at 1080p at 30 fps, which is decent but nothing exceptional. For budget buyers who just need a functional camera for everyday use, this phone will get the job done. Here are a few shots for you to check out. There is a single loudspeaker and a 3.5mm headphone jack. Audio quality is basic. Don't expect booming sound, but wired headphone users will appreciate the jack. Here's a sample audio for your reference.
Through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll
The Redmi A5 comes with 4G dual SIM and SD card support, Bluetooth 5.2, Wi-Fi 5, GPS, and a USB-C 2.0 port for charging and data transfer. For security and convenience, it includes a side-mounted fingerprint scanner along with essential sensors like an accelerometer, proximity sensors, and a compass. The Redmi A5 packs a 5200 mAh battery, which is great for all-day use and even longer with light to moderate tasks. For charging, it only supports 15 watts fast charging, which feels a bit slow by today's standards, especially considering the size of the battery. So expect it to take a while to fully charge. But here's the catch. In our charging test using Antutu, the actual charging speed hovered around 9 to 10 watts only, which is even slower than advertised. So if you're planning to top up this phone quickly, you might need some patience. Compared to older A-series models like A1, A2, and A3, the Redmi A5 is a big upgrade. But compared to the Redmi A4 5G, it feels like a step backward. If you ask me what I like, the design and the price. What I don't like, pretty much everything else. That said, if you're looking for a phone for basic tasks, calls, messaging, social media, it's a solid choice. And for a price of just 3,000 Philippine pesos or around $50, I really can't complain. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this review and want more tech content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. See you in the next one.